Hello and welcome to this latest edition of Shed Talk, my weekly magazine video series looking at the keeping, breeding and showing of cage birds, with a special focus of course on the exhibition style budgerigar. So this week in my shed, there's been a little bit of a break in the weather here in the UK, particularly where I am, and I think across most of the UK. It's been raining almost non-stop for the last 3-4 weeks perhaps, or at least that's the way it feels like it. And we've had a little bit of a break in the weather, the sun's out, so I'm going to take that opportunity to get the breeding cages down and give them a good scrub outside and then let them dry in the little bit of sunshine that we're going to get. I think this week seems to be a bit hit and miss anyway, so I'm going to do that first thing. It's beginning the preparation, I suppose, for the breeding season coming up at the end of September, beginning of October. So we'll have a quick look at what I do around cleaning the breeding cages out. And as promised in the previous episode, the other thing we'll do is we'll get a couple of the adult birds out that I'm taking to Northampton show and have a quick look at those in the show cage. One of the birds that I was hoping to take, the cobalt, you may remember there was a picture of me or a few episodes ago, I was prepping that one for Oxford 1910. That cobalt looks just a little bit under the weather at the moment. It looks fine. It looks fine now, but when I came in, it certainly didn't look its best. If anything, it's definitely out of condition, if nothing else. So probably won't be able to take that one. But there's a couple of birds that we'll look at. We'll probably look at the two cinnamon grey greens. I think they are cinnamon grey greens that we are planning to take. So we'll definitely have a quick look at those two. As always though, if you enjoy the videos, don't forget to hit the like button, do of course comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All the subscriptions help the channel to grow and of course promote the hobby a little bit more widely, also a wider audience on YouTube. Right, so what we'll do now is we'll start to get the cages down ready for cleaning. So if I don't want to miss the break in the weather and the bit of sunshine that we've got today, I better start getting these cages down, put them outside and start giving them a scrub. So we'll take each of the cages outside, as you can see here, and clean them. And I think what this short clip demonstrates is some of the benefits of using all wire cages. And I suppose the main one of those is the ease of cleaning. Now I know some people that have got all wire cages who will just hose them down with a high pressure washer outside, and that will get all of the bits and pieces off of them and make them nice and clean. I personally, I don't disagree, that's a good idea, but personally I prefer to give them a scrub using a solution of bleach. I've said this before, I try to use a nice strong bleach, the strongest bleach I can get over here in the UK, or just purchased from the shop over here in the UK. I use that and I try to initially use it undiluted to scrub the cages, and then use it with a 50-50 dilute to give them a rinse. In this video however, I'm actually just using an avian disinfectant, mainly because I just didn't get hold of any bleach in time or any strong bleach in time to clean them. I will give them another clean with bleach before the end of or before their breeding season starts in earnest. I know some people might think that bleach is going to be bad for the birds. but actually, I found that providing you use it and then rinse it down with a 50-50 solution after, I've never had a problem using straight bleach. And I believe some veterinary surgeries also just use a very strong bleach in order to clean all of their tools and basically to wash down their areas as well. So like I say, never had a problem using a strong bleach on the all wire cages. But if you are a bit worried, then just use an avian disinfectant. But I think if you're going to, you're trying to get them as clean as possible and all of the any bacteria and viruses that are on there killed before the main breeding season. So bleach is very good for that. So there you go. So that's what I will do. You can see that the wire cages, we could strip them down further than I've done here, but from my point of view this suffices. I can give them a good clean. The internal, so the perches that are there, will also just get placed into another bowl, and they will be scrubbed with straight bleach again, and then left to soak overnight in a 50-50 bleach water solution. So in this case, again, I'm leaving them to soak overnight in an avian disinfectant, and that again will make sure that the perches are nice and clean and can harbour any harmful bacteria or viruses left over from the previous breeding season. Once I've given them all a very thorough clean like this, they will be left outside to dry, and then they'll be placed back in onto the stands. As I said, I will do this again once more before the main breeding season starts, providing we get a break in the weather. So there we go, that's the main benefit. Oh, the trays, I forgot to mention the trays underneath. Trays underneath will get scrubbed down, and what I will tend to do is just put a small bleach solution in them and let that soak into them for a couple of hours, and then I will give that a scrub out as per the rest of it. So that's it. I shall crack on cleaning the rest of these breeding cages. Well, that's all the cages now scrubbed for the first time. Like I said, I will give them another clean before the main breeding season starts, and of course we've got the nest boxes and things to do as well before the main breeding season. So still a bit of work to do in here in preparation for that upcoming season. I normally pair up towards the end of September, beginning of October to try and hit the ring date, so a little bit of time yet. What we'll do now then is I'll just grab those couple of cinnamon grey greens, any age birds, so the adult birds out, and pop them into a showcase so we can have a quick look at those. So here's the first of the cinnamon grey greens. As I say, you'll remember these were in the breeding cage last year, and I don't think we actually got anything off them. Maybe they were slightly too young, or the hen not compatible, but both this one and its brother, that you will have a look at shortly, are a couple of birds that I will definitely try to get back into the breeding cage this year. They will be going out to various shows as well. I quite like both of these birds. So hopefully this one will calm down a little bit. So I can get her something to look at, or him something to look at. So we'll let him settle. So that's the first one. Not in bad condition. Tail needs sorting out. Obviously needs despotting. Probably needs a another little soak in before, just to freshen him up a little bit. Most of the flights, very few pin feathers in the top of the head, but we'll wait and see how he gets on. So that's the first of the grey greens. And this is the brother to the last one we've seen. As you can see, needs a little bit of cleaning on the top of the head. And not in anywhere near as good condition. You can probably notice that he's missing a number of flight feathers. So that may prevent him from going out for this particular show. If it was just a couple of feathers, I'd probably let him go out, but he's almost missing half a wing. So we'll need to wait for those to grow back. He's alright on one side, as you can probably tell, but not on the other. So definitely won't go out for them until those particular feathers have grown back. But another bird that I like, and another one that will go in the breeding cage later on this year. This bird might just about be ready for the swinging show, if those flight feathers come back in time. So that's two grey greens that are going. I did mention the cobalt, still looking a little bit bedraggled. I think it's probably still molting out, so we're still in a heavy molt. So I'm unlikely to take that one out, as I say. But I think we've got 3 young birds and probably a couple of adults. I'll see if there's an older, the father of the cobalt may well go out as well. Anyway, that's enough of looking at those particular birds. We'll pop them both back in the stock cage with the other the other parts of the show team. And I'll put the 2 cinnamon grey greens back in the stock cage behind me. I just thought I'd say, so when I'm filming the birds, what I try and do is make sure the camera is level with the crossbar, the bar that the perch is attached to, on each one, so it gives you the same view of in terms of looking at each of the birds. And I understand that crossbar is really where the judge's eye should be as well, so that crossbar roughly in line with the judge's eye, so it's a similar view to that the judge will get. And clearly, you know, if you place the camera, if I put the camera a bit lower, it would make the bird look bigger or taller, just because of the angle, and if I put it up higher, it will make the birds look smaller. So I try and put it at that crossbar level the whole time, just so you know, so you get a view of a similar view of the birds to what I would expect the judge to get. I'm conscious that we haven't been outside in the finch and fife flight in this episode for fife from breeding to bent. As I said in the last episode, fife are currently going through a mite. I'm trying to avoid going out there too much, but by way of just or disturbing them too much with the camera, but by way of just a very quick update, I have lost one of the young canaries. It was almost overnight, so it looked a little tiny bit off colour the evening before, and had dropped its wings a little bit. It was a heavily variegated hen, I believe. Started to drop its wings a little bit. It's still feeding fine and doing all the rest of it. Came in this morning, in fact, and discovered that it was lying dead on the bottom of the cage. Now, I do understand that the molt, when canaries are going through the molt, it is a very stressful time for them, and you can lose birds as they go through the molt. I don't think there's anything I did wrong, but you know, there we go. the way of the world, isn't it? So if I don't use any more during this molt out period, I will be happy. But in the next episode, we'll have a chance to go out and have a better view of both the fifes and the zebra finches. And I will be taking the nest boxes down from the zebra finches because, as I said, they have not been, or they've not gone down to breed, and I've not seen any other eggs. So that is just about all we got time for in this particular episode. As always, if you do enjoy it, hit the like button, do comment, and please do subscribe to the channel. Someone did ask me if I could do an episode on feather types, and I'm assuming they were talking about budgerigar, looking at, you know, long feathers, wide feathers, coarse feathers, and so on. I'm not an expert on feather type, I will be honest, so I will need to do a little bit of research on what that means. I have a general understanding, like most breeders, of the types of feather and what they present in terms of the bird. So, but I will do a little bit more research before I do that one, and I might do an episode on feather type, both in terms of the budgerigar and the canary, because the canaries generally, when you show them by feather type, unlike the budgerigar, which is shown really by their variety or mutation. So although obviously the fifes are shown in a similar way, but the fifes go into two categories. They go in a yellow and a buff, which is based on their feather type. Anyway, like I say, all we got time for in this episode. Until the next one, do stay safe, enjoy your birds.